A Surrey man who'd lost dozens of relatives in the disaster is now in Sri Lanka. Anthony Richard felt compelled to return to his hometown when he saw the devastation in the region. The journey has already been a long one, more than 15,000 kilometers from Vancouver to the Sri Lankan capital, Colombo. But there's no time to rest. Richard and a BC medical team are now making their way to his village on the east coast. Arumina Dea is in Sri Lanka following the group's journey, and tonight she files her first report.
2:35 Thursday afternoon, Vancouver International Airport is packed with hundreds of passengers waiting to board Cathay Pacific Flight 839, destination Hong Kong. For one Surrey man, Anthony Richard, it's the first leg of a monumental journey back home. But he's not alone. Touched by Anthony's colossal loss, a BC medical team is now traveling with him to help. Over 70 members of Anthony's family are either dead or still unaccounted for on the eastern coast of Sri Lanka, one of the worst hit areas by the tsunami. Anthony boards the Boeing 747. Right behind him, nurses Cheryl Baldwin and Mary Spencer from BC Children's Hospital. From the second we get off the ground, Anthony's mind is spinning with images of back home. There's no escape, even on the plane. A few pages into a magazine, Anthony's confronted with a new reality, a picture of his ravaged village, Kalmune. After more than 10,000 kilometers and 13 and a half hours, the plane touches down in Hong Kong. After one quick night of rest, Anthony and the medical team are in the air once again. But you can hardly call it rest, given Anthony can't sleep. His body is tired, but his thoughts are wide awake.
That one is a little bit make here for me, a little bit, nervous and worries.
Why nervous?
Because, 2 years ago that city was so beautiful.
It's going to be hard to see it the way it looks right now.
Now, nothing.
After 4 days of barely any sleep, 4 countries later, we finally arrive in Colombo, Sri Lanka. It's now early Sunday morning. Rolling through the maze of people, 16 boxes of medical supplies fresh off the plane from British Columbia. This is like gold for the victims of the tsunami. The desperately needed supplies are all heading to Anthony's village, Kalmune.
I'm nervous about what we're actually going into, and we've got some information, but there are safety concerns, and we still don't know if there's clean water and food and those sorts of things.
One step closer, but hardly close enough. Even in the early morning hours, the streets of Colombo are already busy as the group makes its way to the hotel.
My primary purpose, first of all, is to make sure that this medical team can get into action.
There's only time for a few hours of sleep before Anthony and the medical team embark on the last leg of this journey, a 9-hour drive through the mountains to Anthony's devastated village.
The first order of business, we're going to have to just fan out when we get to this place, all do our own assessment and sit down around the table and plan out what we've got to do. Obviously the main ones, we need clean water to run a ward, we need to wash the place, we need a source of clean water, I don't know where it's going to be, we need a source of power, and we need a sluice room, that's somewhere you can put the waste, and those will take us a few hours, I would think. After that, we just have to see what we're going to see.